Hey guys, we're talking today about how to actually turn knowledge into action.
And what's funny is we were definitely not the type of people who could do this just a few years ago. In fact, several years ago, it kind of seemed like we were just bouncing around between course to course and book to book.
Yeah, we knew exactly what we needed to do to make more money and to have more freedom, but we just weren't doing it.
And I think a lot of people out there can relate to this, right? We've been taught since childhood a didactic way of learning, consisting of being just told information or just reading the information and just being expected to memorize it. And the problem is we were very rarely taught to implement what we learned. So it's really no wonder that we're so bad at this.
Yeah, the classroom model has absolutely failed. It's impossible to just sit there and have people shove information in your head and then expect that somehow you're going to put it into action. It doesn't work. So fast forward several years later and we've cracked that code. We're making more money than ever. We're working in a business that makes a difference in the world, all the while working just 20 to 30 hours a week and living in different exotic countries every other month. So right now we're actually enjoying beautiful Nicaragua.
And in our 60-day Lifehack Bootcamp program, we train people in how to get things done using our own unique learning model that we've built after years of testing and innovating.
Yeah, it's called experiential training. That means we don't just teach you what to do, we actually create an environment where you actually turn knowledge into action and it becomes easy to take action and make it a habit in your life.
Totally. So let's get into exactly how we do that and how you can apply this hack to every area of your life. So the hack is called 4-layered accountability, and it's designed to turn what you know into something you do.
Hey guys, we're Carey and Demir, and in order to show you this hack, we're gonna need to rewind a little bit and share some examples with you.
Social scientists and psychologists like Carol Dweck and Angela Duckworth have figured out that there's a right and a wrong way to get better at hard things and actually turn knowledge into action.
So let me give you an easy example that we can all instantly relate to. Most of us have been typing on our keyboards for like decades now, right? But the average typing speed for an adult really doesn't improve much after college. So we've all been out there practicing typing for hours, every day, for decades, but we're not getting any better at it.
So that's the wrong type of practice, putting in tons of hours and not improving, because we're not trying to get better. We're not testing ourselves, not identifying our weaknesses and trying to improve them.
It's called effortful practice, and it's the right type of practice, intentional and effortful practice. That's where the quality of our practice is just as important as the quantity of the practice. You need both.
Yeah, so it's where we chunk down big goals and we actually measure ourselves as we get better. It's where we're always zeroing in on the things that we're bad at rather than just leaning into the things that we're good at.
And that's the rub, isn't it? That right there is what separates the men from the mice. Discipline. Some of us have it, some of us don't have it.
We joke sometimes that discipline is the most scarce resource in the human brain.
Absolutely.
If discipline was plentiful, we'd all have successful businesses and be a lot skinnier, right?
Yeah, I'd be jacked if we all had perfect discipline. The problem with effortful practice is that it takes massive amounts of discipline, and discipline is something we don't have. So that's where most people fall down. When we do things alone, usually within a week, within a month, we just stop.
But the good news is that you can hack discipline. And not just for productivity, guys, for anything.
Yes.
And the hack for creating more discipline is accountability.
Think about it. When you promise your boss in front of all your coworkers at a meeting that you're gonna deliver a sales report, it sort of always gets done, right? I mean, sometimes you have to do it last minute, sometimes you work a miracle in the last 12 hours, but on the other hand, when you promise yourself to lose a measly 10 pounds, 3 years later, nothing has changed. So when there's accountability, you make a change. With no accountability, you slack.
So accountability is an extremely potent form of social pressure because it's programmed deep into our DNA. And since we're programmed to be social creatures, it's very effective in elevating our discipline.
So what we want to do is quickly share some high-level observations that we've learned in the last 4 years studying how to hack accountability to accomplish any big goal in your life. Because we learned that accountability relationships, most of them, they don't actually work. and some work like miracles. So we wanted to understand what's the difference between the right type of accountability and the wrong type.
We call the type of accountability that really works 4-layered accountability. Layered accountability doesn't just give you one type of accountability, it provides 4 overlapping layers to accountability that reinforce ironclad discipline and gets you doing things that you hate doing and actually enjoy doing them.
So let's break it down, and as we do it, I want you to think about your life and a time in your life when you've been tremendously successful, and ask yourself, did you have at least 1 or 2 of these 4 layers of accountability to bolster your determination?
All right, so the first layer of accountability is a coach, a boss, a teacher, a mentor, or a leader of some sort. This is a person who creates a space of elevated expectations for you. This is what coaches do for the folks who are in their curated communities and their programs.
So inside of this bubble that they create, status quo is not acceptable. Average isn't allowed. No BS, only your best effort. So this person sets the bar high. That's why we call them a bar raiser.
Totally. So that's the first layer, a coach. Someone who sets the tone, someone who raises the bar. So think about the last time you really accomplished something extraordinary. And usually you'll find someone like this in your life. We call them bar raisers.
Now you might be asking yourself, does this person need to be a one-on-one coach?
Yeah, do you need to have one-on-one accountability with this coach? And actually, you don't need to talk to this person every day. The most important thing is that your coach holds that nice high bar for you no matter what. And you have to know that they have your best interests at heart. You have to give them that permission to really get tough on you when you're slacking off.
So that first layer is really not enough by itself. The second layer is a team of people you respect, like-minded individuals who are in the same game as you are, people at your level or higher.
Yeah, teams are at their best when you really respect the people around you. If that respect is there, you're highly motivated.
Yep.
And when they offer support or feedback, it actually means something to you. You actually listen, right? But by far the best part is the competition. Because let's get honest, guys, you can't make excuses when someone else is out there getting results. So teams help us stop feeling sorry for ourselves and get in the game.
Yeah, if half of your team is running a 4-minute mile, you might not think you're capable of it, but all of a sudden, boom, you're running a 4-minute mile. So, funny story real quick. We had a CEO on one of our team that would not stop complaining about how he could not do what we were asking of him. It just wasn't possible. And then we had a lower level executive suffering from ADHD who started getting that result and blowing everybody out of the water.
Yeah, we didn't have to say a thing.
Nope.
This guy saw someone who he perceived as less talented than him blowing him out of the water, and he just immediately shut up and he did it. So competition is good,
Yep.
and there's a huge power in having a social experience. You'll find an endless supply of motivation and discipline when you're on a team that really pushes you.
Absolutely. Now, that was the first and second layer. The third layer of accountability is a buddy. Someone who is tied to you, you're responsible for them, and they're responsible for you. Just like the buddy system in kindergarten or even in the military, you're holding each other's hand and making sure you show up.
Yeah, and actually the US military has really mastered this layer of accountability. In fact, it's so powerful, when one person is responsible for another person, right? They're kind of tied together. So like in the military, it's kind of sink or swim together. And that obligation keeps them in the game, no matter what. It keeps them showing up at the gym and working out. It's simple, but it's really powerful.
But let me warn you guys, a lot of people try to do this with a best friend or your wife or husband, and that is a huge, huge mistake. Your best friends, your family members, they're not gonna call your BS when you're making excuses. They're just not, because your friendship is on the line, your relationship is on the line. So that's why you want someone who you respect, but actually who's not too close to you, who's at arm's length distance.
Absolutely. A lot of people make that mistake, guys. A good buddy is someone who won't be susceptible to emotional bribery.
I love that term, emotional bribery. Now the fourth layer, that's the third, the fourth layer is public accountability. So in sports, you're accountable to your fans and everybody can see whether you won or not. There's nowhere to hide out if you choke. But guys, we don't have a lot of public accountability in our life today.
Yeah, if you don't write that book you've been wanting to write, usually no one finds out. We just kind of quietly bury the bodies of our failures.
I love
right?
that. We bury the bodies. So guys, creating opportunities for public declarations on Facebook, in front of your boss and your coworkers, to your friend group, to your office and clients. Let me tell you guys, when you tell your clients they can count on a new website or product, that really puts you on the hook to deliver.
So take an action today that commits you to an outcome. And you can even accelerate this by declaring what you'll do if you don't achieve this goal. So like Domino's Pizza, if I don't deliver this pizza in time, you get it for free. And there's actually a great app called Stick where you can actually put money on the line for not accomplishing your goals.
Stick is S-T-I-K-K. Guys, it's all a way to put massive skin in the game. The more skin you have in the game, the more likely you're going to be to cross the finish line. I mean, It's just basic psychology. When you invest money into a program or a training, it's a good way to get that skin in the game as well.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree with that more. All right, so those are the 4 layers of accountability that together create an incredible amount of discipline, motivation, and courage that we need to get out of our comfort zone and put our knowledge into action.
Absolutely. And guys, a lot of times you're going to see that you might be able to succeed with just 2 of those 4 layers. But gosh, when you have all 4 of those layers, it is so powerful. And I want you to go back and think, when you were in swim team in college or when you were studying for that big exam, ask yourself, wow, that time when I was able to do so much in my life and get everything done, see if you didn't have some of those layers of accountability and you just didn't recognize it.
Yeah, I mean, we've had people call into their accountability calls from Antarctica because they were that committed and they could see it working in their life. We had someone step out of an Oscars party they were invited to do his check-in call because he treated it as non-optional and crucial to his success.
That's how you turn knowledge into action. You create layered accountability, preferably those floor layers, to get skin in the game, close the escape routes and the back doors, and get committed to finishing anything that you start.
So guys, take an action today to start creating these layers of accountability in your life. You can also jump into our upcoming Lifehack Bootcamp team to experience these layers that are already built into our 60-day bootcamp program. So you can click the link below to learn more about Lifehack Bootcamp and to schedule a consultation with us to see if it's the right fit for you. Just a warning, registration closes soon and we always fill up in advance. So definitely click the link now if you're at all interested.
Also guys, below we've included some amazing studies and additional resources where you can go deeper and research accountability on your own.
And we want to hear from you in the comments.
Yes.
What are your strategies for getting accountable and turning your knowledge into action?
Yeah guys, what's worked for you? Tell us about those times in your life where you've been able to just do more than you ever thought was possible. Take us back there, tell us what kind of accountability did you have in your life at that point. I'll see you in the comments.